nursing home compliance, which is a pretty secure job.
Yeah.
Tonight to our board meeting on Thursday, December 9th, 2021. First, we'd like to call the meeting to order and let's stand and have a moment of silence and reflect on a correction officer that we lost this last week, Cameron Passy, a 25-year-old young man, prime of his life. And one of our own here on the 5th floor, Jamie Dowell, Communications Specialist. And then we'll have the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please. Thank you. Let's see. Mr. Fennell. It didn't work. I wonder if you need a new battery. There you go.
Work that time? Yeah.
16 present.
Thank you.
Next will be an approval of the minutes.
This is approval of minutes of November 11th, 2021 and November 30th, 2021. Can I have a motion, please? Brian? Paul? Any questions, comments, additions, changes? Linda? Any corrections? No, not seeing any. Okay, all those in favor, please vote. Or those opposed, vote no. Now, did it go? Yes, it did.
16 ayes. Next, we have a proclamation.
Proclamation. Mr. Randy Bruner, step forward, please. Thank you, sir. Peoria County wishes to recognize Randy Bruner for his service as Chief Financial Officer for these past 3 years. And whereas Randy Bruner started at Peoria County in 2006 in the Finance Department, where he served in multiple roles, including Budget Analyst, Assistant Chief Financial Officer, before he transitioning to the Peoria County Sheriff's Office as Financial Director in June of 2017. And whereas Randy Bruner agreed to return to the Finance Department in a dual role of Chief Financial Officer and Sheriff's Office Finance Director in the spring of 2018, in which capacity he continues to serve. While he will step down as the Chief Financial Officer's position at the end of 2021, he will remain as the Sheriff's Office Financial Director. And whereas Peoria County appreciates Randy Bruner's willingness to step up and lean in when needed to perform the duties of these two very demanding positions. And for this extended period of time, and whereas Randy Bruner is well known for volunteering and helping others in our organization, including assisting with the Household Hazardous Waste event, United Ways activities, Team Peoria County Committee, and being the lead weather spotter for Peoria County. Now, therefore, I, Andrew A. Rand, Chairman of the Peoria County Board, on behalf of the County Board, do hereby recognize and thank Randy Bruner for his dedicated public service. Dated this 9th day of December, AD 2021. Andrew A. Rand and Rachel Parker.
Thank you. Guys, go. Thank you very much. It's been an honor. I'm not going away, so I'll still be around. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, just a couple of words of my own very quickly about Randy's tenure. Some of you may not know that I actually was the one that hired Randy originally, and that we were going through a time when we decided that we were going to completely redesign and redo the budget book, and we were working long hours, and within something like 4 to 6 weeks of hiring, he actually had a stroke, and that weighed heavily on me. But he obviously has bounced back. He's been an incredible asset to the entire organization. I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the relationship that he and I have had over the last several years that has allowed us to move the organization forward and implement your financial strategies and policies. I'd also be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to the sheriff for allowing for this partnership to occur for the last 3+ years. It is without that partnership between the sheriff's office and administration that we wouldn't have been able to do that. And it's greatly appreciated that we were able to do that, and that Randy served with such distinction during the last 3+ years in that role. Mr. Chairman, I would also like to take a quick moment and introduce to the board the person that I've selected to be our next CFO and fill Randy's shoes. And that is Heather McCord of Peoria. She's in the audience tonight, and when I'm done with my remarks, I'll ask the privilege of the floor for her to introduce herself briefly. You'll get to know her throughout the next several weeks and months as she gets engaged in the organization and gets onboarded. She'll be starting with us on January 10th. She comes to us from the Foster College of Business up at Bradley, where she is the college's finance director, or the assistant dean is her actual title for budget and administration. She has a bachelor's degree in international business and an MBA, and I am very excited to have Heather be a part of our team. So with that, Mr. Chairman, if you don't mind, I'd like Heather to come up so we can introduce her, and if she can wants to share a couple of things about herself, she can do that.
Absolutely. Please come forward.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for allowing me to come this evening. I am very excited at this opportunity that I have to put my skill set with my passion for this community. I came here in 1997 to start at Bradley University, and I fell in love with the Peoria area and have stayed here since to put my roots down. My husband and his family have been here for a long time, and we and our 2 children are actively involved in the community, and I thought this was a fantastic opportunity, and I am so grateful for it. I hope that the confidence that you've instilled in me will carry forward in the good work that you have done in the community. So, thank you.
Welcome aboard. Thank you very much. Sure, absolutely. Ms. Blair.
I've had the great honor of working with Heather at Bradley for however many years. Is it 5 years? Oh my gosh, 8 years. Yes, we are both old. And she's been able to take the mess that is sometimes academic finances and make sense out of it. Has been a great person to work with, and I'm so glad to see you here at the county.
Okay, thank you for that endorsement.
Next, we're at citizens' remarks. We have one.
We have one, Mr. Tim Howard, please. Is there a mic for you?
Thank you very much. I'm going to be brief. For those, most of you know me, I hope. Like I've been through the airport, I have to show my face. My name is Tim Howard. I'm a board member and the vice president of the League of Women Voters of Greater Peoria. It's my high honor and privilege today to present to your board a letter of congratulations on the work you've done on redistricting. But before I read it, I just wanted to pause a moment and indicate that I'm no stranger to this room because I actually helped design this room a long time ago. In fact, I served on the board for 10 years from 1982 to 1992. When I was first elected, Dave Kaler and I came from the same district, as well as, a name out of the past, if you remember Millie Aarons. Anybody here remember Millie? She was on the board for a couple of years. And then it was 27 members and 9 districts. And so exactly, and I have a hard time saying this, 30 years ago this month, that board chair Jim Christopher and I was the vice chair, and I worked with the board, and we reduced the number to 18 members in single-member districts, and I gladly retired after 10 years, and I'm proud to point out, it's been 30 years, but I found my 10-year pin locked away somewhere, so I wore it tonight for you. Now with that, on behalf of the League, I want to read this letter. On behalf of the League of Women Voters of Greater Peoria, it is my high pleasure to offer our thanks and congratulations to the Peoria County Board for the process used in its recent redistricting effort and for its ending result. While our local organizations do not have an established position on local level redistricting, our state organization supports a redistricting process which, quote, is timely and orderly and which includes a formal announced timetable. Second, makes information and related data available to all who wish to participate in the process. Third, offers ample opportunities for expert testimony and public reaction to the proposed maps. Fourth, encourages compromise among partisan representatives. Fifth, avoids partisan stalemate. And finally, results in maps which offer the voters a choice of candidates for election. Using these criterion, it appears that the Peoria County Board redistricting process is an excellent template for other units of local government and especially for state and congressional districts. It is our understanding that 2 former county board members, Alan Mayer and Stephen Morris, were instrumental in your redistricting process and are deserving of special recognition for their expertise, integrity, and fairness, and I'll add they're excellent lawyers. At a time when there is such acute partisan division in our country, you have provided an example of putting the public interest first, and the League of Women Voters of Greater Peoria and the board want you to know that we appreciate your good work. And I might add, as a footnote, in the 10 years I sat on this board, no one ever came and thanked us for the good work we did. So you're really special. There you are, Mr. Chairman.
Appreciate that very much. Kind words. Well, there were a lot of people on the committee and a lot of back and forth, but we came and got through the process, and I'm very proud to be a member of that with Mr. Dillon, Ms. Daly, and Ms. Williams. Okay, go ahead.
Next is the consent agenda.
Can I have a motion, Paul and Linda back here? Consent agenda? Anyone want anything pulled or have any comments? Seeing none, I guess please vote.
Fifteen ayes and 1 nay. Next is zoning ordinance and resolutions. Case number ZBA 2021 000035. Petition of James M. Agnoletti, a special use request from section 20.5.2.2.1.A.1 of the Unified Development Ordinance. This section allows for a special use when a proposed land split does not meet the 25-acre minimum lot size, nor the 1 dwelling unit per 25 contiguous acres density requirement in the A2 agricultural district. The petitioner proposes to divide 1 acre from an existing 13.95 acre tract. The parcel is located in Logan Township. The Zoning Board of Appeals recommends approval with restriction. The Land Use Committee concurs.
We have a motion. Mr. Dillon, Ms. Eden, second. Discussion, explanation, anything?
It's an easy land split, and it passed unanimously out of committee, so
You're making this very easy tonight, guys.
don't worry, we'll make up for it next month.
Okay, all right, okay. Any questions from anyone? If not, please vote.
Sixteen ayes. Item number 2, a resolution from Infrastructure Committee recommending approval of quotations for county highway maintenance materials to be purchased during 2022 and on an as-needed basis.
Mr. Salzer, there's motion, second. Betty, thank you. Any discussion? Phil?
Mr. Chairman, we had a special meeting to handle this situation because they were unable to get the bids open in time for our regular monthly meeting. And because this is so important to our highway department, the few days after they got the bids, the quotations and so forth, we said we were going to have this special meeting. And it's the annual quotation of all of the maintenance material that Amy and her group will need. And we know how important it is right now because this is a time of season where you never know what's going to happen. We're going to have beautiful weather, they say tomorrow, but stick around. The weather will change here in Illinois. And so this was a unanimous vote of the committee present, and we're happy to say that Amy will be very careful how she handles these quotations and so forth.
Yes, and I had a little discussion with Amy afterwards, and she told me that these are open quotes from many vendors, so They may get from this vendor or that vendor depending on which part of the county they're doing the work on, just for transportation, to make it better for transportation. She also said that any of the steel products of signs showed the most increase in price because of metal, cost of metal going up. Any other
Mr.
comments?
Chairman,
Yes.
during the committee meeting, Mr. Renault had a question about the wording in the second, therefore be it resolved clause. But I said that I would check between the committee meeting and the board meeting. That language is standard language that has been in the resolution for many years. So no change from prior years in terms of how that's worded, Mr. Renault.
Okay. Good question. Thank you much. Any others? Please vote.
Fifteen ayes, 1 nay. Item number 3, review of executive session minutes.
Jenny, I'll let you speak to that.
It remains a recommendation of the state's attorney's office to continue to hold the previously held minutes because the need for confidentiality does still exist, and also to destroy executive session audio recordings that are more than 2 years old, except for those that relate to pending litigation.
Could I have a motion? Sharon? Linda? Thank you. Okay. Any discussion, further discussion? Please vote.
Sixteen ayes. Item number 4, suspension of rules.
Okay, I'll let you go ahead and begin, Jenny.
This is the point in the meeting where you suspend your rules that items come up through committees because the information needed for the disaster proclamation is current in time and isn't ready at the time of committees. So you're suspending your rules in order to vote on this proclamation.
And let everybody be reminded, this allows us to get reimbursement for COVID, and we just got some checks for that, for the reimbursement because that we do this. So could I have a motion, please? Or did I do a motion on this already?
No.
Okay. Kate and Rob. Further discussion? Pretty routine. Okay, please vote. Phil?
15 ayes, 1 nay.
Okay, we're down to
Item number 5. Item number 5 is
oh,
a proclamation extending the declaration of emergency due to COVID-19 in Peoria County, Illinois.
okay, can I have a motion? Kate? Jennifer? Any discussion? Please vote. Thanks for catching me.
13 ayes, 3 nays.
Okay, miscellaneous. The first thing I would like to do under miscellaneous is recognize Mr. Ricker for his 5 years this month of service in Peoria County Board. Well, we have another more senior person that has recognition this tonight for 15 years of service, Mr. Jimmy Dillon. Please come forward. And we're going to let you talk, Jimmy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Fennell.
I'll let you talk a little bit about what's happened in the 15 years you've been on.
That's always a mistake to give me a microphone and let me talk, though. Well, I wasn't expecting to talk about that, but 15 years does fly very fast. I first came on with Miss Bonnie Hester and Bud Seuss and sat in that corner, and now I'm 4 away from the end here, and it doesn't take long to get that far when you think about it. But now that I have family and kids, I even understand more why I do it, for the community and to try to make this place a better. We've had some bumps on the roads, but we've always rallied around to each other. And with the good thing about this is we've never really got into the D's and the R's other than the first vote we got to make when we make chairman. That's really the only time that I've ever seen that around here. Some of the people here that we served with are no longer here. I value those friendships. I value the friendships that we have here. And I know that those people will always be friends of mine and be there for me whenever I need anything. So that I want to change, the friendships. And then I'd be remiss not to thank the staff and the electeds. It makes life a lot easier as a county board member when you have outstanding electeds and outstanding staff, because if they didn't do their job, we're the ones that get the phone calls about it. And so without them doing everything, you're only as good as your employees and only as good as the management that you have. And I've always said that we've had exceptional management and exceptional employees. So to that, I couldn't do this without you. And then thank you to my, even though they're not watching or listening, but when I started, I think I was 26. So lots changed in 42 now. So I couldn't do this today without my wife and my two little girls and the support of them. So appreciate it, and thank you for everything. Thank you, Mr. Fennell.
Thank you, Mr. Dillon, and we didn't set the timer on you, so you did all right. One last announcement that I have before we get into everyone else is today is Mr. Andrew Rand's birthday, so everybody wish him a happy birthday. And now we'll start going around the horseshoe. Merry Christmas to everyone. Anyone want to start with something? Rob.
I know you mentioned it at the beginning, but I do want to send my thoughts out not only to Officer Passey's family, but his work family also. I know our other correctional officers are feeling the loss, and I just wanted them to know that we're here for them if they need us for anything.
Thank you very much. Yes. Paul?
I want to echo Rob's comments for that, and just me and my wife are keeping them all in our prayers, and I'd also like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas.
Mr. Dillon, now we're going to start the timer.
No, Rob and Paul said it best too, but I just wanted personal condolences to the families and to the sheriff's family. I know that is a family, and then to Scott and county administration, that's a everybody in this place is just families. Anybody that's ever had a job understands how close you are to people you work. I mean, we always joke, me and Sharon work together every day in our family. So I understand you're hurting, especially around the holidays, and I'm happy to help any way I can. So my condolences to you guys and women.
Brian?
The same. My wife and I are praying for the families who lost their loved ones, and all of our officers, because they're a close kinship there, and I know he was just like one of your sons, Sheriff. You know, being a mentor to him for so many years, and we're just praying for him, and we're just praying for everyone that we can avoid this dreaded COVID, and everyone can remain healthy, and the Lord's blessings upon everyone that can be watched over, and it's a difficult time, and I know it's a difficult time out at the jail, and the sheriff has worked really hard the last several years through the most strenuous circumstances, you know, to try to keep people in there, and then you not only have your officers that come down with COVID or could come down with COVID, but you have the inmates as well, and so it's a tough time, and our prayers are just with everyone that for their safety and God's blessings.
Thank you. Mr. Salzer.
Certainly many have extended their sympathy to the sheriff, and he's had, an outstanding staff and so forth, and it's terrible that he would lose one, especially at this time of year. And this time of year seems to be a time of year where we all take a very, very positive attitude. And one thing that has always upset me throughout the year is that we don't keep that positive attitude going, and we have this problem with civility. Civility is a problem in our country. I'm not going to say it's a problem here at the county board because Jimmy said it best. Our big political thing on the board is to elect that county chairman, and that's either an R or a D usually. We do spend some time politically discussing that and so forth among ourselves. But all of us need to talk about more civility among our people throughout the year, not just around the holidays.
Mr. Watkins? Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Anyone else? Ms. Blair?
I do want to extend my sympathies to the correction officers. They've had such a terrible time the last couple of years with everything going on, and this certainly doesn't help. I thank them so much for their service to our community, and pray that everyone gets through this.
Thank you.
Happy holidays to everybody, and a happy birthday to Chairman Rand.
Thank you. Yes, Jennifer.
I just want to take a quick minute to remind all of the county employees that we're here for them. If there's something they need, they can come to, I'm guessing, each and every one of us, but they have our contact information, and as they go through things that maybe we couldn't have predicted, their times are constantly changing, but get in touch with us if they need something.
Very nice. Okay, one last thing I'd like to do is thank our different chefs and cooks and bakers that provided our little meal today. The roast beef was especially good, Sharon. Thank you very much. I was just trying to see the volunteers for next month, but I haven't had anybody come forward. With that, I would like to wish everybody a very safe and happy Christmas, Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year. Thank you. Adjourned.
Did somebody come out there today? About that sign? They stole it, Phil. Well, they're supposed to be fixing it. Oh,